to be present in this conversation, for me to truly embrace the essence of my being and share the truth of my heart with those who need to hear this. Well, it's been 5 years since I came back from Australia. It's been an incredible journey through the different places of my soul, and I really want to share with you guys, especially in English, for my podcast, and I record an audio and a live in Instagram, and yeah, just for all of you to know what's been going on in my life and what's been happening. There's been a deep investment of energy into staying in Australia and loving that country. And I remember how 5 years ago I had to fly as well, to give a jump of faith, a leap of faith, and just really embracing who I am beyond the layers and beyond what I told myself I was. And I had the time to repeat that leap of faith this time, because I think that when we find fear in our lives, this fear looks like a black wizard, like a monster, and it feels really scary sometimes. But he's waiting next to a big door, and when we fully accept that fear is a teacher and that fear is waiting in that door for us to face it, as it happened 5 years ago, this time in Australia, I always felt I had one foot there and the other one in Spain, and it was the time to really, I think I have given my best. I have put all my energy into being here, but God has other pathways for each one of us, and instead of going against the current, the best thing is to actually, okay, let's face this fear, let's see what this black wizard has to say for me. And when I went to face fear just removed his costume, his black costume, and it was love. Wearing a big costume and saying, well, actually, I've been waiting for you here, and if I was just love and showing you in this reality as love, maybe you wouldn't even listen to me. You will keep playing around, but fear is the one that is gonna teach you. And he opened the door and said, it's time for you to fly, it's time for you to let go of everything you thought you were. And that leap of faith is actually something that we need to embrace in our lives, because it's in our soul's agreement to actually experience in this life exactly what we need in a spirit, for us to embrace the whole essence of our being. And whatever we try to do, wherever we try to go, we are always experiencing what we are in essence. So we can go to many places and we can meet many people, but God is always speaking to us in every corner, with the person that is sweeping the street, with the person that is next to us in the restaurant, with our partner, with our grandmother, with the birds, with the trees. God just manifests in every essence of life, and He's always speaking to us. We just need to actually keep ourselves in silence, to be brave enough to listen, and that voice always comes beyond two ways. If we listen voices that are feeding our ego, or if we listen voices that are utilizing fear for us to do something, it's not the voice of God. The voice of doubt, the voice of fear is not our voice. And when I say that love utilizes fear for us to go one path, it's because sometimes we are really proud and we don't follow actually what we need, and we don't step into what we actually want to become. And for us to become that, we have to embrace and receive what we need, because when we receive what we need, we actually become what we really want to attract in our lives. because we attract our vibration, we attract what we embody, and we don't attract what we want, we become what we want in the depth of our soul. And in that depth of our soul, the only path is faith, and in faith is written our destiny. But it's important to know that the voice of fear, the voice of doubt is not our voice. And that's what I've been learning, and I want to do a big summary of this year in Spain since I came back. I had many dreams and many fantasies and illusions, I will say, for me to become someone that it wasn't meant to be following the life I was living. It was like living with hundreds of angels next to me, lighthouses. But God doesn't want many lighthouses together. He wants lighthouses divided and sharing and illuminating the world in different ways. And just when we are able to illuminate ourselves and to step into that love for ourselves, people will gather together and lighthouses won't be needed anymore. We will just embrace the pure love and the pure essence of what we are. And that's the beauty. That's the beauty of this life. What we have in essence is that when we face our fears, we actually come beyond what this reality was showing us and step into the next screen of the video game, I will say. We actually get promotions when we go to the next level. And to go to the next level, we have to embrace the lesson that level has for us, and we have to actually embody the responsibility of the thing that is arriving to us, the power, the wisdom. And then we get the promotion, we get to the next level, and there is new people, new angels, new chapters coming to us, and new lessons. So we have to be really attentive and have our attention really present in our heart to receive the blessing. The process of facing the fears is the process of saying goodbye to the old parts of ourselves, saying goodbye to the old self, and the old self is something that is there just to remind us how powerful we are, because we are like autumn. We leave our leaves to fall, and we are like winter when we need to refuge ourselves in silence and wait for the resurrection of the spring. But we always know that in the spring, the beautiful flower of our heart will always bloom. And if we wait long enough, summer will arrive and the sun of our inner being will illuminate others. This realization is something I realized not just long ago. Been writing this year a book of poetry and songs and realizations, and before my birthday, my laptop was stolen with an instrument, and I started to asking why this happened. Not to me, just for me. Why this happened for me? Because in my life I've been seeing how everything is really happening for me when I trust and when I follow up with gratitude. Every situation becomes a miracle, and that miracle is always available for us. And in this time I had the chance to do a therapy with the father of a friend, and in that therapy I was with a candle in front of me, and that candle always represents the God outside of my heart, and I speak with God through the candle, through my heart in the candle, and something I recommend. And in that candle I just received so much. I was seeing how the book I was writing was called White Flower, and I was writing and waiting to publish a book speaking about how a white flower lives and express in this world. But what I realized when the laptop was stolen and I lost this book, because I didn't keep it anyway, not in one drive or anywhere, I realized that sometimes the big cuts in our life, the big situations in our life where something like that happen, is just a guiding way that is strong, because we were really stubborn and we wanted to go other ways. We actually wanted to leave Spain and go to Colombia and travel again, and I was trying to run away from my roots and from my culture again, and not embracing the uncomfortable space of my soul here. And then this happened, and God is like, look, I didn't stole your laptop for you to keep thinking that I did this for you. Like, you need to know that you need to level up, and to level up you need to embrace that this space that you were writing from is not a space of wholeness. You're not a white flower. The flowers can be cut, the forest can be burned, and nature can be destroyed, but the essence of the spring can never die. And you have to realize you are the spring within the flower. And wow, when I realize about this, I am the spring within the flower. I am all the weathers, all the cycles, all the seasons. I am the seasons, and in the seasons I live the different seasons, and in nature, within nature, in the law of nature, I never get lost, because I'm always well planted. A brother told me once, a tree is never lost. It's always well planted wherever he is. And if I recognize myself as part of this cycle that this earth is living, I'm not really dying, because nature is always there, and this is the time for all of us to unite all religions and all beliefs into the law of nature again. The law of love, that only the trees are whispering to us in the wind. Only the rivers are showing us with their flow. Sometimes we can feel lost if we are hanging up into a tree and we need to follow the river, and that river is showing us that beautiful tree that we are hanging on. It could be a landscape, it could be a situation in our life, needs to keep going. The chapter needs to keep going. We need to pass the page of the book of our life, and sometimes we are attached to that beautiful landscape, but there is a beautiful landscape waiting for us in the next turn around of the river, and sometimes we don't see beyond that river because we are trying to find out what is behind the mountain that we see, but the river is going around that mountain and is always arriving to the sea. So in that sea we always have the opportunity to know that we are always in touch with the sea, with the ocean. We always arrive to the destination. We are always home, or higher self, or big eagle of our soul is always in the top of the mountain waiting for us, leaving the footprint for us to actually keep walking them step by step. So there is this inner trust, this inner faith of us knowing that we always arrive, we always get where we need to be, and this is something that I had to realize when I came back here, because my fear was, what if I come back and nothing is working out? Like, what if I'm not living the life that I want? But I had to realize that I needed to live the life that my soul needs to experience, and not this life that my ego wants for me. And that was something really hard to understand, because in terms of relationships, in terms of places, in terms of where to experience truth, I realized that I can go to many temples, I can go to many ashrams to find God, I can experience many places, and I can meet many people. But if I am home within myself, if I am in touch with God within myself, in any place I can hear God, in any place I can find God, in any place I can be okay, I can live in any place, in any landscape. I can be with anyone and still living the same experience. Because I left 5 years ago looking for myself, looking for happiness, and I cannot be happy anywhere if I am not okay or happy with myself. And it's really simple, all these words to speak out, but really finding them was really hard to understand. Coming back and meeting again with my family was incredible, because I could remember, that this time I had to be, and I wanted to be here for my sister and with my grandmother, because I had the chance of facing my family with a different lens of eye view. And I actually wanted to be with my grandma, because I knew there was gonna be probably the last months of her on earth, and I just allow myself to be with her. I allow myself to spend all those months with her, all those weeks, and I started living with her without realizing that I was staying with her from a place of family loyalty, and thinking that because she was like my mother, and I couldn't be there for my father, I didn't have to be there for him. Now I had to be there for her, and I had to be for her death or her passing away, and that was something that I realized. I gave myself a lot of time to be in that nest, to eat with her, to share music with her, to massage her feet. Something I recommend: massage the feet of your parents, the feet of your friends, something that Jesus will do in any place, in any house. If he has some guests, people will come to their place and receive a massage, and it's something that we can give to anyone. My grandmother was in a lot of pain and a lot of suffering, but the moment I will just give her this cuddle, this gentle massage in her feet, all her pain will go away, and she will stay in a really beautiful state of peace and heaven, really, because many people haven't had that time of pleasure or haven't received that moment of love, and they haven't been taught, and when she received it, it was just wonderful to see it, and to see how I could look at her and look into her eyes and see that beyond that body I could see her soul, and in the spirit she will be okay always. I could see suffering through the lens of perception and through the lens of this surface body, but she will be always in the spirit realm, saying to me, it's okay, it's just part of life, we are just going beyond life, and this is just another step, and thank you for being there. So it's always been a blessing. Many times I've been confused, I've been in a lot of self-doubt and self-sabotage. I came back to the gym, I stepped into realizing that I had many tools in my belt, and in the end I couldn't use them in Spain. In Australia there was a different tools of my belt, and here I needed to renovate everything. I had the chance to meet many new people, to meet many new teachers, where I could collaborate in retreats, I could just gather with them and meet beautiful friends, and I realized that wherever I go, if I embody the tribe within me, in any place that I go, I will find tribe, I will find always the teachers, because my intention is what is attracting all around me, and the intention plus embodiment of that is the manifestation of the reality that we actually want for our needs to be fulfilled. So I always knew I was a big connector and a big bridge, and I knew if I'm coming here I have to bring some of what I had in Australia. In Australia there was a beautiful community and tribe, and if you guys are listening to this, I love you so much. and we will gather every Sunday, probably in the drumming circle or doing many gatherings for us to play music, for us to share food, for us to share just beautiful wisdom. And I knew I had to do something like that here in Madrid. So I knew many artists and friends that live separated from each other, and I don't know if it's sometimes politics or just that the role that we have is actually the role that we see that is needed. When we see something around us that is needed and no one else is seeing it, it's because that's our role. That's for us to embody, and that function is for us to be practicing reality. And I saw that that was needed all around us, a tribe, a space of consciousness to arise in all the people of the city, a place in the city, especially I saw nature, and I choose the central park of Madrid to do these gatherings, to actually gather around, and I called some friends, some artists in August, and I was like, let's go there all around and just play music and dance and share wisdom and share food and share meditations and yoga. Let's do this in an altruistic way for free, because it's needed and this medicine is needed. So we created something called the medicine wheel, in Spanish la rueda medicina, and now we are more than 500 people in a community, beautiful community, that we gather once a month on Sunday in the park in Madrid to actually offer that example of that pillar of truth, that pillar of light. And once I started seeing how people was really needing that sense of connection, that sense of ascension, and that sense of tribe, I realized that this is the time where all the people that have been gathering in past lives are now gathering together and sharing this truth together, and this is the time for that, to share the songs, to share the music, to share the dance, to share the wisdom, to share the yoga, and that was incredible to see it unfolding. And my beautiful friend Diego was really helping me and believing in me, and my best friend Hadid, I live with him now, and he's an amazing artist as well, and we've been doing so much, stepping into the path of music and singing, and really stepping into all the gifts that each one of us have, and we are remembering and interiorizing, like bringing all the memories from everything that we are into the practice of the daily day. And I've learned all this year that spirituality is practicity, is to bring it into practice, and is to actually allowing ourselves to know that everything we're facing is perfect, like the biggest of our fears, facing the worst of the hells within us, all the demons, all the shadows, all the identifications that we have with self, all the personalities, all the experiences that we hate and that we so many times we don't want to embrace of ourselves, and we run away from them. This year has been for me that, like, I cannot run away anymore, because I have a mission, I have a purpose, like each one of us, and in this time they don't let us. When I say they, I say our guides, I say our higher self, I say our soul itself, don't let us to go against the current of what we need to embrace in this lifetime. And it's really clear in our soul agreement what we need to face and what we need to go through. And it's beautiful to see it unfolding, because I can see how in the end even the darkness serves love. Even the darkness now wants to ascend to the light, and beyond the light it's clarity. Beyond the colors is the white. Beyond the white is the black. Beyond God is emptiness. So beyond everything, we have to be like trees and learn again from the trees, from the law of nature, the one love religion that we are all stepping into. What Jesus was speaking about, what Buddha, what Krishna, they all just listen to the nature essence of life. And that essence was always all around us, willing to tell us and to share with us what we are here to do and to experience with it. In full harmony, in full love, in full essence of purity, nature is just always there for us. It's always showing us that as a tree we have fruits and we have prosperity and abundance always available for anyone, and no one is gonna come and steal anything from us. This is not a moment to defend ourselves from any attacks, because like the trees, they just offer the fruits and their shade for anyone that need it. And this is the time to give voice to the plants, to the animals as our allies, to the crystals, to recognizing that in this moment of ascension, the gathering of the tribes, the gathering of the people, the gathering of all the colors of the rainbow within us is the most important, because there is many aspects of our shadow self that now is ready. It's like we are a king of this big kingdom, a king or a queen of this big kingdom that we call body, that we call community. Like each one of the cells are people in this kingdom, and we've been for so long without listening to this kingdom, without listening to the people within us, and these people is the different personalities, emotions and aspects of self, and that created this harmony and diseases and sickness and death and old age and perceptions of suffering. But then when we step up and we actually feel that we need to sit on the throne of our soul, and when we sit there we can start observing that we can give actions and direction to the different parts of ourselves. What I mean with that is, for example, the part of us that is angry, instead of suppressing it or instead of letting it to express in chaos, we can actually ask, what do you need? What can we do with this energy? And move that energy into purpose. We can move lust into creating something. We can move the different peoples or emotions within us into different actions within the kingdom, and that gives us the responsibility of being commanders of the different demons and shadows. And this is something really important to remember. Because in this kingdom, everyone wants to live in harmony. Everyone wants to experience love. Everyone wants to serve to the big king. But we have to embrace that king and that archetype. So, yeah, with this inner community, we then manifest the community outside. With this inner war or inner conflict that we live, we can start observing how that war is outside too, what is happening in Israel and Gaza. It's because we are not attentive and listening to what is happening inside of us. Maybe we have some pain in an organ or in a part of our body and we are not listening to it, and we sometimes stop the war with medication or stop the expression with some suppression, and then that's happening outside, that's happening beyond reality in this world. And when we actually face that moment of this is happening within, and I have to stop observing outside to realize of what is happening within, and I have to look inside and again go within and touch and embrace myself and be in contact with myself and see that war is battling within me, that conflict is within, and giving myself that space to to actually, I'm gonna stop looking outside of me, and I'm gonna stop running to many different places to actually embody and honor my roots here right now and honor this pain. In this last year, I had two physical manifestations of this. I had some pain in my feet, and I was facing this pain, and I was like, what is happening with this pain? Like, what is coming from? And I had it for a few years, but I wasn't speaking about it. I wasn't listening to it, and now, like, I'm being like just listening to it and realizing I wasn't accepting my roots. I wasn't accepting my family. I was running away. I wasn't actually becoming a true teacher of the light for myself. Like, actually is taking huge responsibility and knowing that, yeah, as Ramdas will say, if you think you are enlightened, just go to spend 1 week with your family. But beyond that, if you really truly want to be who you truly are, family is the biggest manifestation and expression of mastery. And being with them sometimes was like observing actors and actresses around me in a big Jorge show, because it was like observing them and seeing how sometimes they will scream, and I will be like, oh, fuck that, like I will be rejecting it. But then I will observe how, when I will accept and I will say like, wow, that scream is in me, but I don't dare to express it. So then there you are, my uncle doing it. And that realization I will have within, suddenly I will see that person outside of me to shift and to change the face. And this person will start to actually act normal. So then what I started to realize through family constellation, I met a beautiful teacher and I was working with her. And suddenly I realized I was just wearing the costume and the mask of the good boy, and I have to keep peace within the family, and I have to keep all the things all right. That since I was a kid, because I will hate conflict and everything will be so hard to be present in the presence of, and I will run away. But now this time I was like, I'm gonna stay here. And you know what happened? One day I just broke the mask and I scream out and I just explode. And everyone was like, shit. It was like breaking the matrix. It was like breaking reality. And suddenly what was like a lamb became a lion, and it was like, these are my boundaries, and this is enough, and this is what is needed right now to be expressed by me. And in that moment I had a huge epiphany of like liberation of the soul, of like, wow, in my authenticity, in my essence, there is nothing wrong. In my expression, in the expression of the golden child within me, there is this huge representation of the king as well, that is expressing who he is, and it doesn't need to keep imitating a role that is not. So families and facing families and being with them in purpose is mastery, is true mastery. And being within the city, serving, and being in the spaces that are the most uncomfortable for our ego, not for our soul or our spirit, because the soul and the spirit are always perfect and comfortable whatever they are. They could be in the biggest suffering. Even Christ, that was 100% in Christ consciousness. This sister told me that. I need to write that. Even Christ, that was in Christ consciousness 100%, in the end of days he doubted, and he said, why did you abandon me, God? Even him. So it's normal that us, sometimes we think that we're abandoned and that we cannot keep going, but the soul is always perfect. It's always in the perfect situation. It's just incredible. And once the ego starts to understand this, because we put our ego facing these situations in purpose, consciously. It's like with the yoga mat, we purposely put ourselves in these situations of suffering consciously, to actually then get out and go to life, and in any situation of stress, just being our center, being like in the center of the tornado, and where there is the most peace there. And we go through these situations for us to realize that the ego needs to face this, and needs to observe the soul in the situation being at complete peace, and the ego needs to see itself fragmentating to actually start serving the soul and to start serving the spirit. And I could see that. I could see myself breaking and breaking all the mask and breaking all the aspects of myself, like allowing it to break. Like, I don't need to be this. I don't need to be what they expect from me right now. I don't need to be fucking smiling right now. I don't need to not swearing. I can just be who I am. And I've been many years rejecting the fire of my father. And what the fuck? If my father is fire, I am born from the fire. So I've been honoring my father on that, and realizing how much I was rejecting it, and how much I was not wanting to speak with it. And it felt like, because we always want to separate from God. God is always with us, but we are the ones that separate from it. And then when I realized about this, I allowed myself to give the chance to, okay, I've been separating from it. And I was reading this beautiful story of when Jesus was a kid, and he was seeing Satan, or the devil, the manifestation of it, and he understood that his name was Sataniel, as the angel, and he understood the mission of it, and his mission was to go to the other side of existence, to the emptiness, and illuminating that part. But there was so much darkness there, and there was so much path to go for, that he forgot who he was, and he forgot the mission. So then he created an identity and a personality that will justify his essence, and he will forget and create duality to offer God the other side of the light, the shadow. And when we could observe that, and when I could observe that, I was like, oh my God, it's all perfect. Every aspect of creation is actually serving God as well, even if it's the most horrible thing. Even the screams of pain, the screams of suffering, even any moment of stress, it's all a calling for love. All words, all situations, all aspects of reality are calling for love. So we are always coming back home. We are always coming back to the ocean that we are, and it's actually like that. It's just happening in that way the whole time. So I realized that the biggest teaching of all times, even having studied many religions and many aspects and personalities of God and identities of God, is all personalities of the human essence. And in truth, it's just nature. Nature is God, and nature is speaking to us like God does. Love in nature, the determination for living, and the unfolding of life through nature, it's always truth. Truth is always in nature, because in this world of mirrors, nature is always the most pure and innocent of the mirrors. So when we go to nature, we have the chance to look at ourselves in the most pure, in the purest mirror. And when we see that, I realize that I can be in the city, but at any moment I can just remember the nature within me. I can go to the park and can just get barefoot. I can just actually show that to people, and the responsibility of being here and and seeing how that's so needed in people, and how even if many people don't want to experience that, there is many that want to, and that each one of us have a process that we have experienced and a wisdom that we have learned, and we have become that lesson or that wisdom, and our presence, a few moments, a few conversations with someone can just give them an activation and an acceleration of their life process. Like what I have lived in 3 years, I can just share it and be it and become it, and someone that is in my presence can just process all of that in 1 hour, just because they are seeing my expression and I'm giving them the permission to actually go beyond what they think they are, because I'm allowing myself to be it. And realizing about that was the realization of true mastery. Like it's not like a debt, it's like a duty. Like with the cities and with the people that are here, it's not that we need to change everything and go back to nature, and we just need to bring nature back to every heart and to every human being. And nature can be really present for someone that is in an office too, or in a supermarket, because nature is not just plants, nature is just the harmony of everything working out perfectly, and the sensation of that is that peace. And I need to write this as well to remember. and that's something that was really hard for me to comprehend, like why I'm here and why I need to be here creating these gatherings or these spaces. I've been wanting to run away many times from being shown or being stepping up, but showing up and showing who I was something that I have been seeing through deep waters within my soul, how needed it is. Because as I say, I will be feeling vulnerable or innocent, or I will check with myself if what I'm living or the life that I'm living is through my ego or through the path of God. And even if it was through my ego, it was still the path of God. And the whole metaphor of that is just like, if I stop complaining, if I stop blaming, if I stop just overthinking anything and just allowing every emotion to be and guide myself through my heart. It's something easy to say, but actually if I put my whole being in service of the will of God, that is the will of nature, I will start living like an ant that is not judging how this thing is or how the universe works. And I just do the thing that I have to do. And the thing that I have to do is my heart's will. And it starts from stopping to overthink things and just doing it and enjoy the process of doing it. And seeing that, I have seen how my whole family will shift, my full family will change, because I will allow myself to be myself and be myself with everything that I have lived in my life. It just keeps accelerating me into that awakening process of I am just the heart, I am just the heart, I am just love, and love embraces fear. So I'm fear too. And I allow myself to be fear, and I allow myself to be the doubt, and I allow myself to be the essence of everything. It's fine. I can be everything. I am everything. And I can be nothing. I remember this teacher that was giving many retreats around the world, and everyone was like, what do you do in your free time? And he was like, I go to my farm and I just work in the farm. And they say, what? In your holidays, why do you go and work in the farm? And he's like, because it's the only place where I can dissolve and disappear in the action, so I can stop being me and I can start becoming the not being. Like, that was beautiful, because there's an art in doing in the not doing, and not doing in the doing. So when he is in the farm, he is doing in the not doing. He's relaxing and he doesn't need to do anything. And he is becoming the not doing in the doing. He's dissolving when he's doing. Like, he doesn't have a name when he's planting seeds. He doesn't have a name when he's cleaning the space. And that's something beautiful as well, that dissolution of that, because we actually start to be like nature when we don't question what we're doing or what we're saying. We just are. And then the masks and the fragmentation of reality dissolve all around us, and we just establish harmonious relationships with everything, because we don't take it personal. If someday someone disappears, it's just the end of a chapter. If one day we are not receiving something, we just understand that not receiving is gaining something else. When we say no, we're saying yes to something bigger as well. And I have seen that with my family. I have seen my sister doing going to nature with me and asking me for help, and going to the walks that my father will do, and then realizing of the beautiful life. Everything I thought I wanted, I have it too. I have it too in every moment. I remember a friend asking me the other day, if you will have everything and you will have done everything, what will you be doing? And I will be like, I will be playing with my kids in nature, playing music and writing books. And it's so simple like that. And I could have everything, but I will just do that. So then it's a good question to ask, what we'll be doing, and if what we're doing is closer to what we actually desire in essence on our heart. It's beautiful. We just keep doing it, and that's it. There was a problem in my throat as well. I was coughing a lot during many months, and again there were many emotions that weren't expressed, many voices within me that wanted to be expressed, but I wouldn't express because, oh, that's not right, family is here, you cannot say that. But then step by step we allow those emotions to speak up, and in those spaces to actually just be whatever you want to be, whatever you feel like doing, and because everything is fine. As I say, even a horrible act is still an act of nature. Like a tree that falls is still giving so much food to many organisms. So seeing it like that, we stop blaming, and one day we will wake up and the guilt and the blame and all the envies and everything in the world will have disappeared, because that's where we're going. That's the flow of the river of life. And even if many wars and many conflicts have been repeating in life, they've been repeating, but always with a different grade of consciousness and a different grade of evolution. And now we are in that moment where evolution is at that point where all the species, all the beings that were with us, and we can speak about many dimensions or many beings all around us, in our DNA, all the complexity of the different beings and different energies that we have within ourselves, all of them, they are stepping into a higher version of themselves. Like, there is an example of the dragonfly that I love. The first 3 years of the dragonfly, she is living as the predator under the water, and she doesn't know that one day is written in her DNA that she will leave the water, leave her shield, and become the most aerodynamic and beautiful insect that can fly away and do amazing things, like a plane in an insect. And that's written in her DNA, and that's what I feel is happening to us as humans. It's written in our DNA that one day these waters that we know as duality, as fear, as blame, guilt, envy, whatever, will shift. We will suddenly walk out of this water, step into an essence of love and harmony completely, and just become completely beautiful gods and divine beings, and that we already are. We're just remembering it, and it's not that we need to accelerate anything. We cannot force the flower to bloom. We have to just keep being. And if suddenly the economy, the planes, the system and everything fall, let it fall. Because if suddenly we live like 3 days of darkness, or the sun illuminates everything, and whatever it happened, whatever theory, aliens come here or whatever, we just let it. We just let it. Because we've been our grandparents, and we will be the 7 generations after us. We come from the stars, and it's inevitable that we will keep living. So we will live always in the plants, in the planets, in the stars. And when once understand that beautiful beauty of death as something that doesn't exist, and an old age, and once we step into understanding that eternity is within us, all of that will disappear, and it's just the acceptance of that beauty. And that has given me the city. The mastery of this is the city, because in the city I have gone through all my emotions and all my inner hells many times, and it's been allowing me to see that, wow, it's just beautiful, that different complexities and different discomforts, and I could see that in summer when I went to festivals and see thousands of people already in this comprehension of consciousness that it's just needed. That as humanity we unite, and that's gonna happen. It's happening already, and all the colors of the rainbow will unite, and the rainbow people will rise, and it's just there. It's obvious, and I saw it with my sister. My sister was having a moment with me next to the river one day, and she was crying with me, and I was like, see, this peace that you're feeling right now is what our dad felt when he died. And that moment of understanding that for her was incredible. Just, wow, this is available for us, this moment of peace, this moment of love, just through breath, just through nature. This is available. I've been many years without living this, experiencing this. Yes, it's available, but we just didn't know. We just forgot it. And I've been many years as well without knowing that, and that's fine. It's really beautiful to be here, to be in Madrid, to be in this center, because I live miracles every day, and before I was assuming them and living kind of like in a dream world of not taking responsibility of the reality that I am, and it's fine as well. There is no guilt in that, but it's the process of maturity as well. As you know, I have done a podcast for 3 years interviewing beautiful people, Spanish and English friends and teachers, and that has allowed me to step into a project here in Madrid that is based in 144,000 souls come here to help the earth. Well, we call it, we are all 144, because we are all uniting and helping into this transition, and it's been a big step to showing who I am, and to showing to the world spirituality through different lenses. The whole project was based into bringing spirituality into the matter, into the matrix, I will say. It was like a secret agent bringing the light through interviews with famous people, And you know what? It has surprised me to meet famous people and see in their eyes that they are humans like us, and they have the same wantings, the same desires, the same. But what I could observe on them is the look in their eyes. They just truly search to see the soul in the other person, and they gave me that code of like, wow, these people is here as well because they have learned to see in others the purity, to see in them what they want, because they are attracting a lot of people, and a lot of people is attracted to them. And I've been experiencing some of that with the community and my life, and I've been seeing that more and more. I check through my eyes what's the heart of the other person really saying, because they could be saying something through their words, but in the heart there's something else. They're saying something else, and that's something that has been really giving me a gift of. I have wanted to leave this project 2 times because of the exposure and to be seen in that way. But then I understood again, it's just the soul doing it. It's the soul, and there is many fears that could arise, but at the end of the day, I know my intention, I know my faith, and I know what my heart is putting into the plate, and that intention is actually what helps navigating all waters with many temptations and with many inner hills. It's just faith. Faith is the boat in that ocean of doubt, actually. So we started doing this project with people that can influence a lot of people just by a few words, and we just bring them into a space of positivity and the heart. And it's been great. It's been great doing it and seeing the process unfolding and seeing how once we accept the offering of life, of just becoming the tree that is within the seed that we are. If we are a seed of mango, we can try many times to be a tree of apples, but we need to be what we are. And life is gonna support us to become what we are and what we were born with. And I have seen that. Unfolding all around me. Even if sometimes there is moments of self-doubt, it's fine. We just keep walking and keep walking. Sometimes I have get attached to places, in this case Australia or the people in Australia, but I know they are there. I know that what we share in my heart and in their hearts is always there, so there is no distance really. If you're listening to me right now, I don't feel any distance. I just feel just a different chapter, and I feel even if we don't see each other again, like that always exists. What we experience together always exists, and that with every partner or relationship or anything, that's always there. That's always there, and that's beautiful. And honoring that. There was a big calling of serving in my country, in my city, and I could see how important it was for me to be here. I love you always too. I knew you were listening. I know that serving here was big for me, to actually face the limiting beliefs I had about this place, but because I changed the lens of my way of looking at the world changed, then the reality where I am changed too. I could spend many days holding a space for my grandma and observing her passing away, and it was beautiful because I could see her soul. I never had the chance to be in front of death, in front of that last moment, but I could see her soul transitioning so gracefully. Her dream was for the family to unite and to find harmony between us, among us. And my cousin and I, we started to do sound therapy, sound healing with her, with bowls, with my guitar and everything. And it was incredible just to see the power that we have in our families, to see the huge revelational power that we have in the remembering of what we are in essence and what worked for us. Like, it's like in this path, when we find gold, when we find something that is truly remarkable or has truly helped us and served us, we can doubt of it because other person maybe represent that doubt, or we can fully accept that what we found was gold, and when we share it and we are so truthfully about it, and our intention is so direct, that we see miracles. We just see miracles. Doing some healing to my grandma, having a complete moment with God and with divine energy, saying to her everything I wanted to say to her, and resolving all the depths that could be there in the lineage. As I say, I know we've been our grandparents, and maybe we were the ones that got killed, maybe we were the ones killing in war, and I know we in essence we will be our kids, and we were our fathers and our mothers, and we were that. So seeing that part of me dying in her and speaking to that part and saying thank you for all the guilt, thank you for all the blame, thank you for all the judgment, thank you for all the not enoughness, like, it's so beautiful. Thank you, Grandma. Thank you for this. She always will say, don't be a frog, be an eagle and fly, let nothing to cut your wings. And I remember asking her, when you pass away, just transform into the birds, into the doves, into the eagles, into the hawks, and fly, and every time I will see them, I will remember you. And my sister was present of it, and my sister was driving in France 2 weeks ago. My grandmother who had already passed away, and suddenly she saw a hawk flying, and she thought of her. I get goosebumps. And she thought of her, and then she looked down, and there is a sign of a town that is called Miracle Town. And it was like just magical, like this kind of experiences of like confirmations of, oh, there's actually another good one. My mother just saying, I just wanna, we were gathering around after she passed away in the house with some friends, because another part of my family transforming is just introducing them to my friends and showing them the community of conscious people, and they are seeing me becoming that and embodying that, and it's so obvious. I remember years before it was so hard to communicate with them, but now it's obvious, because many of us, it's like we're holding each other. We are the leaders of the new age, and it's not the time of just one leader, one guru, one shaman. We are all in the front line of these beautiful battles of the flowers, and each person that we have found in this conscious path is there with us. But even more when your family can be in the presence of that and see like, wow, okay, there's something happening, because there's all these people gathering and people finding new ways of living, and so obvious. So I brought my friends, artists, to my house to sing, and I was with my mom, with my sister, and another friend, and we were there, and we were honoring my grandma with music and with song, and we told my mom, there is something you want to say to her, because she's here listening, and she was like, I always wanted to say to her that I love her, and they didn't show us how to do that, but I love her, and I would love to know that she's okay with a sign or something. And when she said that, like, the clock that was stopped, my grandfather's clock, just sounded like don don, and it was like incredible to see those moments, or seeing my family believe again in divinity and start to connect with God, and to see everything unfolding. It's just really subtle, but different situations and different acts that I do in my daily life keep resolving and unfolding things in my family. Like I clean paperwork, I clean the house, and it's always a psychomagic action. Like I see when I do something here in my inner world, it just unfolds outside. I can see how in the outside utilize a situation to change something. Let's say I'm cleaning the dishes and I'm saying I'm cleaning right now these thoughts. I'm planting seeds and I'm planting these seeds on my awareness, and everything just shifts in reality too. It's really beautiful to observe that as well. Community, gathering in community, having the spaces. Like I've been living with my best friend Hadid, and in our house, it's really a humble house, but we've been inviting a lot of people. Like there's been like hundreds of people in this house, because we've been doing gatherings and we've been sharing music, and I've been bringing some of what I learned in Australia, and a beautiful community has been gathering, and we've been learning music together and talking about what we want to create, and I can see in front of me the new civilization, the new society, the new humanity that is rising, because all of us, we are tired of the old, and it's not that we want to keep holding on into the old. It's like we are, each one of us, doing this work to keep releasing and letting go better than releasing. We don't want more leases. We're letting go of these beliefs and these moments of the past, but we have to put the strength and the intention of doing it. And it's going. Many people will transcend, like my grandmother. Many people will die and will go to another planes of consciousness to keep developing and to keep working on themselves and in their souls. But this is the moment. This is the kingdom of God to arise, and God is nature. So it's really important for us to understand that, and to trust with full faith, because big things will happen, and we will see things that will look like miracles and will look like fiction, I guess. But this is the time for it. This is exciting. We came for this party. We came for this celebration, and beyond death, when we know that we all gather with each other in every life, always. We are always meeting each other again. There's no fear anymore to death and to distance and to situations. It's always really interesting to observe as well. There is this sister that has been writing me from Gaza and asking for help, and sometimes one doesn't know how to help and how to bring peace to that person that is asking for it, and just prayer and just knowing that even if it's the hardest thing, like it's still perfect for what the soul needs to live through. It's really easy to say that actually, and really raw, but we're living what we're living, and we don't know if we experience that in another life, and now we're living a better life. And what is a better life really? Like having many things and not having the time to actually pray or to be with ourselves. It's really relative, like, because people that don't have anything, they have a lot of time to unite and to be with each other. And in the city I can see families having everything but not being with each other. And in India I have been people having nothing but being always with each other. So it's it's really relative what life is and what is correct or right or wrong. So it's really important to detach as well, and knowing that detachment and something that is uncomfortable creates much more intimacy in relationships. Saying the things how they are, communicating, having groups of people and relationships where we can actually express everything that we are with vulnerability and with authenticity, and knowing that we are not going to be judged. Even more, feeling that we have pillars within our community and people around us that are going to hold us accountable for us to be and to become what we need to be. I've had many friends here that have been truly commanders, that have been just giving me a hand of freedom when I had the feeling that I didn't know where to go or what to do, and it's been just remarkable what they've been teaching me, especially as men, how to keep each other accountable and how to hold each other and how to keep going. And even if we don't see where we are going, just keep walking, because faith is the engine that is moving things forward to Zion. So what else? I've been experiencing a lot as well with ceremonies and retreats and learning many new insights and teachings and ways of knowing myself. Everything just feels like a truly remarkable script, really. I've been meeting many beautiful sisters and showing me the act of love, but not in the romantic way, in the way of a family, and that's been beautiful as well. The deeper work I have done with my grandma and with my mom, and asking help and learning to ask help and to be in the nest and then to be ready to fly, but then sometimes coming back to the nest, taking the lessons and then keep flying, going beyond the limitations of what a man should be or what it means to provide. Like, I'm still learning so much about it, creating my own kingdom and learning what my kingdom looks like, not here in the material world, in the kingdom in heaven. I will say the kingdom of all my actions, all the subtle actions, and how subtle the path is, how thin the path towards greatness is. It's really remarkable. So I've been learning as well with that feminine, that we as men, we are the guardians of the feminine, and the feminine now are the ones that are going to be listening what the earth needs, and we just need to follow that and to honor that space for that to show us where we need to go and what we need to focus on. And I saw that with my grandma when she passed away. Like, I saw her uniting with my grandfather, and I could feel how now they are guiding me and the strength of that. And she passed away, and the next day I had the last day of my project, and it was like, wow, so she's been waiting until I finished this project to pass away. And then we had a concert as well. I've been learning a lot about commitment in a group of people and commitment in relationships. And sometimes I was utilizing relationships for my own benefit, and I wasn't realizing about that, and that's been really humbling as well, to actually face that and to see what is truly a relationship with an ally, with a friend, what friendship means. And I have had beautiful examples, beautiful teachers. As they say, God is everywhere when we listen and when we allow ourselves to be open to receive it. And wow, it's been incredible. I've been having as well experiences with ancestral remedies, sacred plants, and I had wow, powerful navigation of the deep waters, especially facing my biggest fears and swimming on those waters of fear, of fragmentation, of really not knowing what is God anymore or what is love, and having had to experience those moments of fragmentation to give a new self the opportunity to arise has been huge as well. I've been in a lot of pain sometimes. It's been difficult for me to ask for help and to be vulnerable enough to ask for help, but at the same time it's been really rewarding to go through that alone and to be lost, to be truly lost, like actually to allow myself to be truly lost and empty and not knowing anything anymore, like everything I thought I knew disappear. And that's been beautiful too, because it's needed in some ways in our life, and many saints, many people, many guides, many teachers have gone through that. Those initiations of the soul are necessary, of thinking that we know something and we're putting it into a box of limitation that is giving us the explanation of what life is or what this person is doing. But suddenly, what if that breaks? What if we actually don't know anything? What if that box that we have and that was creating safety suddenly breaks? What if I have had so much into my own idea of what this life is to protect myself from pain that suddenly someone comes and offers us a different perspective, and we truly allow ourselves to be like, maybe he's right. That maybe he's right, it just open and unfolds a huge new way of seeing things that's been incredible. And as I say, there is many rituals and beings and intentions and the different ceremonies that and devotional aspects of life and spirituality that intertwine with many beings and many ideas of what God is and what angels are, and all those aspects of creations are still needed for us to learn to get lost and to serve something that is not for our highest good, but in the end it is, because it's in the soul agreement to be doing that and then learning our boundary within that and stepping beyond that, going forward. So at the end of the day, it's like letting go of those rigid masks and structures that our ego has created, not just on this life, in many lives, and just allowing them to unfold, allowing them to literally fade and to break. And I have seen the pillars of my life to be really well built, and suddenly through different experiences to break, literally all of them break, and be like, shit, I'm literally lost, I don't know anything anymore, like, what? And then in those moments of pure emptiness, of pure pain and suffering, because there is a desire to be found, to be loved. So there's those moments that Buddhism will speak of, that moment before letting go of the last desire, where one's realize, like, actually God is here. God is in the last step before the abyss, because there is faith there. And in that moment of full darkness, of full not seeing anything, it was faith. And there was the humility of saying, God, I'm confused, I ask for your help, I want to reconnect back to you. And your father and your mother are just waiting there, being like, well, now it's enough, you've been enough of playing around and trying to do it your own way. Now you want to do it our way, because we are the giants and you are on our shoulders. we've been living all this existence. Let's do it our way. I'm speaking about the celestial Father and Mother and the universe and the inner faith of our higher soul and higher self and future self that knows better than us where to go and what's the way. And it's that humility of being like, okay, I have tried to do it my own way, but I know there is wisdom beyond me that can see, like the eagle view, this world better than me. It's time for me to believe in that and to trust that. So I've been having moments of truly desperation, and in those moments of desperation there is an image of Hercules. I need to write that I saw the other day. That was he was in hell, and he was trying to save his beloved, sorry, and he is in the deep waters where the souls are lost, and if he touches these waters, he will get old and he will fade and die. And he's speaking with Herodes, and he's like, I need to save her. I need to just go to that abyss, even if I die. Like, can I go save her and give my life for it? And he is like, yeah, but you're gonna die. But yeah, let's do it. And you're not even gonna save her. You will die before you reach her. And then he jumps in full faith, and he starts to decay, and his body starts to become really old, and he starts dying. And the moment as he's gonna touch her to save her, the sisters of destiny are gonna cut his destiny cord and his line of life. And when they're gonna cut it, this line of destiny, this cord of life, become gold, and then he doesn't die, because it's not his destiny to die. He faced the fear of dying and the biggest of his fears of disappearing, and he comes back as a god with her on his arms. And when this happened, Herodes is like, what the fuck, what happened? And that's just what the crucifixion speaks about, is like the sacrifice of humanity, that this woman represents humanity, or sacrifice for humanity, or intention of, I'm gonna give everything that I have, because I'm beyond my ego and what I think I am, my name, my identity. I'm gonna give it all, because I know, even if it looks like I'm gonna die, I'm gonna suffer, I'm gonna go through pain, that's not real. And my golden cord of destiny is stronger than any fear and any illusion. And that's the path of initiation, of the return of the hero, or the human becoming that God essence, that divine being. And that was beautiful to remember and to face that, because in many situations, especially in deep meditation or in deep prayer, or in situations where we are required to show up, and beyond us there is a big fear that is there speaking to us, we go beyond and we face it, and we know that we are where we are because God wants us there, and God wants us to experience this in a humble way as well, because it's hard, but it's an illusion. It still is an illusion. And even if it's really easy to say that at the end of the days we are immortal and we are eternal in essence, and when we face that and we allow ourselves to give ourselves entirely to the love that we have, not to save anyone, just to give our life for humanity to harmonize and to be in the sense of love, everything shifts, everything changes, and our life and the impact of our life shifts as well, because it follows the God guideline. So it's truly give ourselves entirely to God and to faith in, and that's been for me the last few weeks have been about that, like coming back to Christ, coming back to Jesus, coming back to God, to the Father I was running away from, and running away from it was just because I wanted to do it my own way. I wanted to figure it out my own way, and and in truly humility, like just coming back and being like, okay, Father, Mother, I'm back. Let's do it your way. Let's be an instrument, and let's do the thing that we have to do, and that's it, because I don't want to do it my own way. I want to do it the way, the truth, and the life. That's the only way that I want, and I didn't know I wanted, but that's the way that is the most fulfilling, I will say, as well, for the soul and for the kingdom of oneself. And once the ego sees that, the ego needs to go to the limit, to break down, to find this inspiration, and to be like, fuck, I don't know, man. Like I've been trying to protect you, and to do these things for you, and to put these boundaries, and to help you to survive, but this is beyond my limit. Like let's trust the divine. Let's trust the divine. Let's just be instruments in. And as I say, that's really subtle. Sometimes it's in a small conversations. Sometimes it's just in prayer and in trusting that God is gonna share with us the way. And it's not a voice that tells us what to do. It's an impulse. It's an action. It's an instinct that is within us. So, in my birthday, I had the chance to see how important the tribe is, and how the tribe was all around me and always helping me and sharing with me beautiful love, and wherever I am, I always find this beautiful tribe, and we've been together many lives, and once we find that, and we just have to keep ourselves together, have to be together, just gather together and pray together, and share love together, and share the intentions together, and speak with God together, and invoke God together, because God listens, and is really graceful. And it's the time for us to stop looking at anyone as an idol. It's for us the moment to stop to follow people, follow ideas, and putting people in the center of our life instead of saving ourselves. That's the moment of go beyond that. There is no one that is going to come to save us. There is no one, and it's hard to say, but not our mother, not our father here in the physical realm, not even in the divine realm, because we are God's prayer. It's not that we pray to God, we are God's prayer. And when we realize that when we pray, we are praying for ourselves, we are praying for us to be that instrument, for us to be that essence of love in the world, and for us to be our full expression, and to be meaningful in our actions, into why we came here. We realize that it's time to stop putting people in the center of our lives, and putting ourselves in the center of the circle, in the center of the circle of everything that we are. And that means to love ourselves as God loves us, and that's the biggest act we can do, to love truly ourselves in every part of our soul. And that's what God wants for us. And coming back to Christ, and to what Jesus or Buddha will speak about, is just nature, just coming back to nature. And sometimes that could mean like leave everything, leave the home. And another time is to know that we are born and we are exactly what we need for a reason, but everything is still perfect. Even if we suffer, even if we feel we are dying, and we feel that everything is meaningless, and that nothing makes sense, it's still part of the process. And even if everything feels so confusing, just remember, trust the process, trust the process, trust. This is just written for you, from you, before you come, like a big agreement for you to step into who you really are. So it's a beautiful opportunity to actually trust what you wrote about your life, because the bigger the challenge, the bigger the soul, the bigger the battle, the bigger the warrior that God put there. So if you're facing any big trouble or any big moment of suffering, it's a moment to realize as well of the immensity of your soul and how huge the opportunity that this life is giving you to realize of what you truly are. Because in the depths of darkness, in the depths of the emptiness, one realizes that if this is what I am experiencing, and I'm experiencing this because my soul has the courage to face this, and we only face what we are ready to face. Actually, my soul is bigger than this. If I'm facing this, it's because I'm bigger than this. That's how life works. It's just proportional. We experience what we match vibrationally. And until we don't forgive ourselves in all the suffering that we have put over ourselves, we just keep facing it, keep facing patterns again and again and again. And it's when we actually look at it and stop and just accept it. This is what is happening in a way or another. This is happening for me. I'm here to work out in which way I can learn from this, but I have the responsibility to save myself in this situation. And saving sometimes is asking for help, sometimes it's helping, sometimes it's just helping ourselves and keep walking, but with faith, utilizing the faith that is always lit up in our heart. There is a candle in the deepest cave of our heart that is always lit up. Find that candle, and even if sometimes we don't see it because it's behind us, we can feel it. We can feel the fire of that candle of faith within us. Always trust on that. So that's just coming back and making a summary of all of this, is remembering that we have the essence of the spring within us, the essence of life, the essence of knowing that whatever we do, wherever we are always guided. We're always guided. And if I'm facing this war, this battle, this moment, this confusion, it's because I am the commander that needs to put peace there. If I don't find something in my family, I am the one that is bringing that. If there is something that is not happening in reality but is living within me, my function here is to bring that. And that's it. That's it. How do we find that? Faith. We don't need to find it. We don't need to seek it. We are it. We just become it by trust. And that's just the peace of knowing that that's always there. That we have guardians around us, angels all the time guiding us. We just need to listen and to know that everything will pass. All the times of horror and duality will pass. We will see the miracle. We just trust with faith and with gratitude, because you're facing something that is beyond limitation, is beyond what someone can even imagine. But that you're living is necessary. It's necessary right now. I don't know why, but we will know. You will know. And knowing that, life becomes simpler, easier, because we are becoming wiser. We are becoming the teaching. We are becoming the embodiment of the wisdom that we are experiencing through the practice of the light in a moment of darkness. And that's life. That's life, and that's why we're here. coming back to the higher Savior within us, to the Christ within us, to the awakened Christ that lives within each one of us, and awakening that light, allowing all parts of ourselves to work towards the same goal, coming back home, love. And sometimes, even if we think that we cannot keep going, we're here to build this new consciousness together. We've done this many lives in other planets, in other dimensions, but in this life we have a responsibility, a sense of duty to give and to be the light of God and be an example of that and be a mirror of that for others, to give them permission to be that as well. And that's the beauty. And that's been my year, creating this beautiful tribe in Spain, calling up for all the tribes in the world to actually gather around in parks, in cities, share music, share prayers, share meditation, share ancestral dances, share wisdom with each other, and don't follow up one leader, just follow up the leader within and share with each other. We are here to bring hands in hands with each other and to do it together. We are all kings. Let's be the kings that make others kings. Easy. Let's do it together. And let's call upon these gatherings, these groups of people that we just don't sing just on our homes. We share it. And when we share it, we keep learning. And let's do it for our fellows, friends, and people in the cities too, people that are there waiting for this in an office and they don't know it exists. So let's be that, and sometimes maybe our duty is not that, and it's another one, is to be in nature, is to be in another gatherings, but it's okay. Whatever you want to do, it's fine. Whatever you feel like doing in every moment is perfect, and just be compassionate with that. And if suddenly a big project that you've been working on disappears, if suddenly your partner breaks up with you, suddenly a family member dies, it's eternal. We have dreamed this. It's like we have lived a real life, and now we're having the chance to dream that life that we lived once in a dream. So in this dream now we can become conscious of the dream, and if we become conscious of the dream, what are we doing with it? What does God wants to do through us in this dream? That's the question, and that's the meditation, that's the faith that is written. We have lived this already. We're just reliving it in the format of a dream for us to become conscious of the dream and experience it beyond reality. That's the beauty of being, and that's all for today. Blessings for all the people that left us, all the people that passed away, that never left, are still there, but they have different missions now. And honor your father. Come back to your father, to God. Give the time to speak with it, with the goddess, with the God, with the trees. Make the time to connect, because nothing is more important than your heart, and non-commitment is more important than your compassion for yourself. So say no when you have to say no, and say yes when you know deeply that is a yes. And love each other, find each other in these times with hope and with faith. Whatever it happens, we're together. We're a big tribe, and we're awakening all together as ones. Blessings to all, much peace, much love, much harmony. Amen. Love everyone.